Hello. Oh, hi. How's everybody doing? How's things? How's life? How's universe? How has your week been? Um, hello Simon, hello Ish. How you guys doing? Oh, uh, um, I'm broken more. Are we surprised? No. Does it make any better? Also, no. You sound no well. Yeah. Um, as stated at the end of the already pretty long title, I believe that I have uh, intracranial hypertension, which is the worst kind of headache. Um, mm, I'm taking a specific medication that can cause it, and I have literally every single one of the side effect of it, the symptoms: dizziness, headaches, neck pain, like foggy brain. Basically, there's extra pressure in squeezing my brain, and it seems to just be gradually getting worse and worse. So I'm extra dopey today, and have been like this whole week. Uh, so bear that in mind. Um, hello, be right. How you doing? How's things? Have you tried simply employing the cure of not thinking about it? Ear, nose, and throat specialist, June 2024. um, do you know I have, and it's marching on without me. Um, yeah, yeah, I'm trying, but yeah, it's a bit rough. Also, apparently, hypermobile people. Oh yeah, tinnitus and ringing in my ears. That's been extra annoying. I already have tinnitus. I fired a lot of firearms without hearing protection when I was a child. Don't ask. But yeah, apparently people with hypermobility, Ehlers-Danlos, are quite commonly susceptible. Um, So no wonder it's 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 screwing me. I have a GP appointment tomorrow, which is a miracle. Uh, and I have told the specialist who prescribed the medication, and I'm probably just gonna stop taking it, even though it's a medication that I take to stop the colitis. This is bad. You have slightly deeper issues. Yeah, slightly. Also, like, as someone who has tinnitus and who has had tinnitus since they were 10, um, it's not that you don't think about it, it's that if you don't have any noise, around you, all you hear is the tinnitus, is the ringing, is the hissing. Um, and it just sucks, so, yeah, no. Um, Tinnitus is not great. Spent my childhood and into my 20s in loud music environments. Nice. Yeah, no, mine was power tools and firearms. How, pray tell, as a British child, did I get access to firearms? Well, it turns out we still have quite a lot in the UK. And to be honest, they are uniquely available to children because you can join various types of cadets. I was in two different types of cadets, and I fired firearms in both. um, Mine comes and goes inconsistently. Fair, mine is always there. It's just what environmental. Like when if I were to put my head on a pillow, or even just block out, like cover my ear, I can hear it. It's ringing, or hissing, um, white noise. So, yeah. Um, and also, she said that about a chronic tinnitus for a colleague. I am well versed in doctors telling me, sod off, and it's all in your head. Uh, it, this is not all in my head. Um, so yeah, no. Anyway, how is everyone? How are we doing? How's life? How's the universe? How's your week been? Oh, what's over there? I made my CO2 sensor and it's been collecting data. My Zigbee CO2 sensor, and it works and it's awesome. I'm excited about it, and so I'm gonna make another one from my bedroom. It's currently 959 ppm of CO2 in here right now, which is dangerously close to the upper limit. Like between 400 and 1000 ppm is standard indoor spaces. Anything up to like 1500 ppm and you start to like get foggy headed and headaches. And anything above that, real bad. So yeah. Um, yeah. We'll keep an eye on it throughout the stream. I imagine it's only going to go up. I mean, tinnitus is in your head. Okay, you got me on that one. You're not wrong. I don't like it, but you're not wrong. Um, does CO2 gather at the ground level first or diffuse quite universally? Um, I don't know, but my assumption is that it's slightly lighter than uh sorry, I'm trying to work out. It must be heavier than oxygen because atmospheric oxygen is O2 versus CO2 being literally just a carbon attached to those two oxygens. So um, it must be heavier than oxygen, but yeah. Anyway, um, uh, uh, I'm laughing at be right. You make me laugh. Um, but yes, with CO2, you can open a door or a window for a bit and clear it out. And I do. I open the window and then fan the door, and it cleans the room out beautifully. Cycles the room's air, if you like. It's heavier. Yeah, that's the vibe I was getting. So it should be in the lower areas and climb. Um, Um, Probably worth checking if you're concerned. Um, Concerned about what? Please bear in mind that I'm like extra stupid today. I have 3 brain cells and they're fighting for 4th place. Which is better than only having 2 brain cells and fighting for 3rd place, but it's not much better. Probably simply, uh, probably better if you simply open a window often and turn the heating up to warm up. Problem is that's pound coins being burned up in the air. Yes, I mean, as I said, possibly last week, maybe I can't remember. I do really want to get a air exchange system for the loft that will draw in fresh air but pass it through a heat exchanger so that any of the heat that's in the outgoing air gets transferred into the incoming air so that it's not warm air going out and cold air coming in constantly. But having a nice steady flow of air throughout the house would be real nice. Um, so yeah. Um, ba, 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 ba. CO2 can starve you of oxygen, uh, but a lot, or by a lot, but you need a lot. And the airflow will clear it. That's true. CO2 is a particularly awful way to starve of oxygen, though, because it's the one way that your body knows you are without oxygen. Um, in fact, when you feel like you need a lot of CO2, yeah. Certainly much higher than 1500 ppm. It's not great for you, especially long term, but it's not it's not deadly in that sort of ppm quantities. Um, but yes, actually, that's probably not a story for the stream, so never mind. I'll leave it at your body knows when it's got too much CO2 in it or in your lungs, and in your blood. So yeah. Um, what did I? Has there been tech news and announcements this week? I um I'm presuming you've all seen the Razer CES video from a couple weeks ago now. Um so that's the context for this. I saw a interview from Mingling Tan, Razer's CEO, asking quite specifically about uh, Project Ava. And there were a few questions like, why is Grok, the Mecha Hitler CSAM producer bot, the one that's powering your, you know, loneliness machine? Um, And basically the answer was just, oh well, it's the best conversation model right now. And then when asked about like user safety, the answer was, and my elucid brain is paraphrasing greatly, we don't know. We're gonna, learn as we go. That's why this is a project prototype and not a mass market product yet. Which, like, at least it's not a thing you can buy right now, but you can pay a like $20 deposit or whatever, or $50 deposit, whichever it is, to register your interest and secure your one. So that's not really much of an excuse, but yeah, it's still a horrifying concept, and I mean, you've hit the nail on the head there, Ish. Hello, John. Um, Best of luck with your studies. I'm not well at all. Uh, I'm likely to die from this condition, but if stopping the medication that's causing it doesn't fix it, I need surgery to like create weep vents behind my eyes. Which is horrifying, and I'm scared. So I hope I don't. Yeah. Um, why is Croc a croc? That is a crock of shit, yeah. I've been playing. Uh, I'm trying, John. Uh, the thing that I may or may not have is idiopathic intracranial hypertension, excess pressure on my brain and brainstem and whatnot. I have literally every single symptom from the list, which is really quite funny. And very me. But it explains why I currently have neck pain and a headache and feel really groggy and dizzy and stupid. Um, my vision's a bit blurry. But yeah, I'm doing great. Doing great. Um, I've been playing Hightail. Have you tried it? Was never into Minecraft, but for £17, I thought I'd give it a go. I'm afraid I haven't. I was also never into Minecraft. Um, In fact, the only game that I've played this week was GTA 5, GTA Online. Because a friend asked and I said sure. We had fun. Hello, Stanislav. How you doing? Oh, fucking hell. Um, Bought the hologram assistant. Uh, Looks cool. Just creepy being a spy device linked online to whoever your personal details, mannerisms, likes, dislikes, strengths, and weaknesses. Yeah, pretty much horrifying. I did see MLID video with Tim from Hardware Unboxed that suggested Nvidia communications would make the US press secretary jealous. Uh, um, Fair. I did not, so feel free to fill us in. Is what I'm trying to say. It's really hard being handicapped mentally. I am a normal person. I think in terms of the schedule, the Linux video is finally going out tomorrow. Um, which I hope you enjoy. And then I'm taking the Monday off. Rightly. Yeah. And then you'll see some very interesting and weirdly expensive webcams, a fun controller, uh, possibly the best single board home server you could buy, uh, and then two OLEDs. One is a tandem OLED. For those that don't know what a tandem OLED is, it's actually two OLED panels layered together, which means that you can run them much like power supplies with their efficiency curves. OLEDs have the same sort of efficiency curve, where running them at really low is actually it's an inverse to a power supply. Running them really low but having two of them basically to double the output means that they are way more efficient and way less susceptible to burn in and much brighter and all that sort of stuff. Um, so yeah, that's pretty cool. Talking about the suspension of the 50 series cards, Nvidia lied. Apparently, they've overcommitted on AI orders and are suspending most 50 series production for 6 months. Ah, I did see the news about the 5070 Ti being cancelled and then definitely not cancelled. Um, but yeah. Oh, um, that does not surprise me. I think the funny thing for me is that like all of the insane hype for Nvidia, as an example, is driven off of future demand. Like none of the data centers are built yet. Where are all the GPUs going? Where is all the RAM going? There's no place for it to go yet. Like I understand that the whole point is that the companies are buying up the like capacity and you know for the next like 6 months whatever, but it's insane. As long as they manufacture one within the next 12 months it's not cancelled. Yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of tricks to be uh, that NVIDIA SKU, the GB300 NVL72, is amazing for a whole built-in pre-wired up unit. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's also £1 million. Um, uh, it happens that I need to buy an SSD, and unfortunately, uh, my mouth only swear words, and I cannot purchase one because of the same prices. Um, uh, yeah, yeah. So, here's a fun fact. A little while ago, and not that long ago, I did towards the end of last year. I did a few videos on like the cheapest X you can buy on Amazon. And one of those, actually two of those videos that I made were the cheapest 1 TB SSD you could buy on Amazon and the cheapest 1 TB M.2. I was closing some browser tabs and I happened across the page, like the Amazon listings for those two drives. And here's the fun thing. So the M.2 drive went from like 80 quid to 120, like 50% rise. The SATA SSD, the 1 TB SATA SSD, which is actually currently in my cloud key, funnily enough. Um, that went from £41 to 90. It over doubled in price. Jesus Christ. It's a rough time to be buying any sort of memory, be that volatile or not. Um, Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft, said they're stockpiling tech because they have nowhere to put it or power it on. I guess it's important to stockpile it or someone else might get it. Like gamers. Well, apparently, Microsoft has been storming out of meetings because they're upset that they can't buy RAM at the same price they did before they helped inflate the price of RAM. Uh, Someone, who was it, fired their head of procurement. Someone fired their head of procurement. Um, and Apple has been like whining and dining and like putting up in 5-star hotels the purchasing like managers or whatever from Samsung and SK Hynix and Micron, um, which is just really funny because it sucks when we're the victims of like companies' greed, but that it's so beautiful when like it's the big companies who are the victims of the same circumstances they helped create. You know, bubble popping. Well, Satya did also say that unless we find some real use cases for AI, um, I think the quote was something like we're like they being Microsoft are going to lose the like societal will to use as much electricity as they do, which they already don't have. I don't think anyone is like societally okay with just how much energy they're using, and especially in places of America where regulation doesn't exist because wow, that's complicated. um like people's power bills have gone up 2 or 3,000% just because there's now a data center next door using all of the power. um so yeah, crazy. The 2 terabyte SSD I wanted cost 120, now cost 260. Damn. 4 terabyte from 220 to 360. It's I mean it's a full regression of like I don't know 5 years of price like improvements just gone. With no like immediate benefit or no immediate fix available, you know? On the other hand, the overproduction and then sell off of 6,000 series of GPUs might be good in like 18 to 20 months from now. That's true. That's true. Aren't they producing GPUs that can only compute AI though? Um, I mean, that would be my guess. Um, but yeah. Around half the frames in modern games created by AI now. It's actually it's like 90% of if you enable like DLSS and frame like the 6x frame gen, you're like 6 out of 7 frames you see are already generated, and on that seventh original real frame, it's AI upscaled from like 720p to 4K. So again, like if you're counting the number of AI generated pixels, it's like 95% of the pixels you see are generated, not rasterized, which is horrifying because the generated ones can't contain any new data, which is insane. But anyway, this is Gen 4, by the way. I'm afraid to click on Gen 5. Yeah, I mean, the drive that no, the drive that I was looking at for the 1 TB one anyway is a very slow Gen 4, I think. I can only see in console refresh anyway, so like the lost arrestor lost on me. Um Fair enough. 5.0 the AI plays the game for you. Yeah, wouldn't surprise me. Hello Simon. How you doing, man? How's things? Good to have you. No? If I remember rightly, he said Melbourne. I could be wrong. Oh my head. I'm either thinking of waiting it out or buying a hard drive. I think the problem is that even if the like AI bubble were to burst, which my God, I hope it does soon, there's there's still going to be a lot of the recollection period, that's the wrong word. There's going to be a long period after that where like all of these companies will be trying to back out of all of the deals that they already had, and then like the RAM companies are going to be either trying to hound them to pay the money for the RAM they don't need, or are going to be trying to find other suppliers, which will all have dried up because people like we can't afford to buy the RAM because it was £4 million. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think, funnily enough, one of the other stories this week is that OpenAI will run out of money next year, because even if they do manage to put ads um, in ChatGPT responses as they're planning on doing, which would be the end of them. Um, Even in the paid plans, I believe. It's what you call it? Oh, I wish I had a brain. It's still not enough to do anything. Although to be clear, they're not running out of money because they're not making enough money to fund their operations. It's because they keep signing like 100 million, $100 billion deals to like buy space in Oracle's data center that doesn't exist yet. Um, when their entire cash flow is in like the tens or maybe low hundreds of millions, or revenue, a year. Um, so yeah, fun times. Um, oh yeah, absolutely. I'd be right. Absolutely. It's yeah, crazy. Hard drives are going up as well. That sucks. Especially because I kind of want some more high capacity drives. But anyway, um, okay, so might have a bunch of smoke, but no lit fires. There were a lot of fires north of there. Um, oh, from from down under. Sure. I haven't seen. Then wait for them to crawl back to gamers, and the gamers will be waiting with open arms. A part of me wants to not be able, wants to be able to not need PC parts. Yeah, gamers will have pent up demand, and they'll charge a lot for the first generation of new hardware. Make even more money. Yep. I already lost my chance in buying a GPU, and I had a good chance. Not lucky, I guess. Uh, it's really easy to look uh have hindsight on these things. Okay. Oh. In I think it was even 2014, I was like mining Bitcoin, and I could have very easily bought even a decent chunk of a Bitcoin, and if I had, well, I would have been a lot better off at very least. But yeah. Oh well. You can't cry over not predicting. Exactly. I think it's more I wasn't really aware that I could buy one, even though I could have physically. I didn't a lot of things didn't and potentially still don't occur to me as options, which I kick myself over a fair bit, but anyway. Didn't realize I was autistic and had ADHD until I was like 25. So, Bitcoin is still very volatile. Oh yeah, I'm not saying it was a good investment. I could have sold it for 70 grand a pop. Um, so yeah, I knew about it from about 2012 onwards, so not exactly brand new, but not far off. Hello, Jim. How you doing, man? How's things? Oh, ah. I'm gonna have to be far away for this bit because my back hurts. Let me swivel. There we go. Hello. Hello. I'll be like your favorite podcaster. I'll just hold the microphone. This feels weird. Anyway, you can see my Elgato Wave 3. I don't think that we'll see new GPUs until next year either. I would agree. I think we're probably until the bubble bursts. Nvidia has no reason to carry on or to give us anything new. The Nanoleaf light controller seems to have lasted longer than the last 4, I think. Thank you, Jim. And yes, it has. It's there. I've not had to reverse engineer it or use the guy who has reverse engineered it this work. Gaming cards are a rounding error in accounting. Absolutely. Or at least they are now, which is horrifying. But it's the truth. The sad, sad truth. Yeah. Oh, so is the music playing? There should be music playing. There's some music playing. Make it a little louder, shall we? So you don't have to hear me suffering. I have no hopes for Intel's B770 either. I mean, what card is out now? Is it No, I don't remember. What Intel cards are in this Battle Mage generation? How badly is AMD trying to develop MPUs and such on their end and alternatives to CUDA? So they've had an MPU for a while in their mobile chips. They've just not bothered putting it in their desktop chips, which is fine with me. Um, as for the alternatives to CUDA, they absolutely have. Rockham is their alternative to CUDA for AI stuff. Some stuff still does it. So it does work with some stuff, but it's obviously nowhere near as popular. Although I believe Nvidia has made some changes to CUDA which would allow AMD cards to work natively, which is a pretty big thing. So yeah. Um, oh, it's B580 and B570. Jim says 1560. I'm inclined to believe all of them. Yeah, so the 7 should be a decently faster card, right? The B580 were around £200 for ages, but they've gone up now as well. Awesome. Well, the B580 is, and this is where my like head is stuck. Feels like an RX 480 kind of RX 580 kind of performance and card in my head. At least that's where it sits in the sort of product stack. Like if you would have bought a 580 or a 1060, you know, probably a decade ago now, Jesus. Um, you you would probably get a B580 today, you know. Oh, B60 and B50 are pro cards designed for non-gaming, but they are based on Battle Mage. Got it. B570 was 10 gig of VRAM, B580 12 gig. Nice. It's a decent medium 1080p card. Oh, so it's the same performance as 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 the RX 580. Okay, got it. Oh, I feel weird holding a microphone that has like an actual stand. Like I'm not. I don't know. If I'm holding it like that, I guess it feels a bit more natural, but also feels weirder. Feels weird holding it, but it feels more weird to have it on the desk about a meter away from my face. Um, but needs must. I've got an RX 580 8 gig in the shed. Solid card for years. I mean, yeah, I have a 480 and a 580 kicking about somewhere. Not that they've been used for ages. The 9070 XT is €720 minimum. Where I live. I wonder what it is here. Shall we? £650 looks like the sort of low end for us. So it's about the same. Once you've done some currency conversions. Yeah, the XT is about £650 at the cheapest. At least overclockers anyway, but they're normally pretty good at keeping up with prices. You can't hang the mic from the ring light on a pole and just drag that right in front of your face. The ring light is on a pole that is not straight. Insert the neither am I joke. So adding the microphone on a pole from that, I think would just likely topple the whole thing. I have considered putting it on a mount because I have a few of them now actually. But I don't know. I like the rustic charm of this just sitting on my desk. Yeah. Let me try going back to sitting a little more forward. I can probably. There we go. I feel like that's a decent balance. Now I don't have to hold the stupid mic. Oh, yeah. Dearie me. I do apologize for the what feels like a bit more low effort this stream. But I hope you understand that I am just very broken. Perhaps more so than usual this week, which is a surprise because I'm very broken anyway. I'm not making it long. 5070 Ti is super expensive, and since I'll go with Linux, I see no reason to lean towards Ingredia. Yeah, fair enough. I understand. I'm inclined to agree. Although I must admit that, funnily enough, the one thing that AI has done for good is force Nvidia to give a shit about Linux drivers. So, funnily enough, drivers work pretty great now. But yeah. I have been using Linux, although I haven't made much progress on my Linux version of the response time tool, the latency tool app, because I have been dying. Mostly metaphorically, but also kind of physically. Hello DT. How you doing, man? How's things? Good to have you. How you doing? How's life? Hope you get better soon. Thank you, so do I. That video about Razor was Chef's Kiss Peak Andy, thank you. I live to please. Oh, but I agree, I am proud of it. I'm proud of taking a stand, you know? It's important. I'm scared to move my main system to Linux. I always get good results, and then one day it crashes and corrupts everything. Certainly the previous experience with Linux was very much like you need to be ready to reinstall your operating system at a moment's notice, for sure. However, and I say this tentatively, my experience with Linux, modern day, especially a slightly more hand-holding experience like Bazite, or I've heard CachyOS, although I've not tried them, that one, is pretty damn seamless. Like there's an app store, so you don't have to use the terminal for everything. Steam just works. Steam games pretty much just work. It's all very, you know, nicely sort of handheld. So yeah, Baza is exactly what I want to use. Well, you should check out tomorrow's video, because that is me using Linux for a bit over a month and even writing some software for it. You should check that out. You should check that out. Tomorrow night, be there. Or be square. I still don't know what that means. Linux does give you a really big gun. Unfortunately, it helps it point it at your own foot. That is a brilliant analogy, Ish. I love it. I have it on one of my laptops to Joe boot and it's fine. Then again, I only use Windows for games. Everything else is Mac OS. Fair enough. Um, and doing much better. Nice. Wonderful. But yeah, to be clear, it's still not a perfect experience, although let's face it, Windows is just as dreadful. Um, but yeah, it's a lot more refined than it was a couple years ago. 100%. A lot more refined. I remember having some odd issues the last time I tried Mint, a multi-monitor system with act change after sleep wake. Oh, I can confirm because the laptop that I installed Bazite on is actually a dual display laptop and it worked. So, in the Netherlands, all PC parts are going up. So I uh, bought almost a complete second-hand AM4 system, filled it up with memory from my other AM4 system, and now it has 96 gigabytes and 10 terabytes of storage for under 1,300 European shekels. Nice. That's incredible. Congratulations. That feels like you've won the lottery. Um, yeah. The other issues I had were trying to set up more exotic audio. Okay, so audio was a problem on that laptop. It's a specific issue with that laptop, but at the same time, um, I, I'm a pretty techie person. Like have been using computers as an enthusiast. I've been building computers for 2 decades. I've been writing often low-level software for computers for about a decade. Like I have a pretty decent understanding of how all this shit works, right? I couldn't fix the audio issue. The laptop that I was using does not output sound unless it's through Bluetooth headphones. Again, specific to that laptop, if you have a desktop or even a different laptop, it's fine. It will be fine. It will work straight out of the box like everything else did, including the 2 touchscreens. But yeah, yeah. Yeah. I would use a USB DAC or something if I couldn't track down drivers. Yeah, if I was, well, one, if it wasn't a laptop, because I already do use a USB DAC because Windows blew out my old motherboard's built-in DAC. So I already have a USB DAC for that. And also if I had a more consistent like setup or whatever, but also you want the speakers to work. Anyway, and as for drivers, that's actually something that I cover in the video. And it's complicated. Just watch the video tomorrow, and that will explain it much better than my adult brain will be able to now. Um, so yeah. I don't really laptop or hibernate or power save or even Wi-Fi if I can avoid it. You're smart. Yeah. New system's too expensive, but what's more interesting, I can write it off as I have a company and I'm gonna get some money from somebody, so the total for the PC will be like 300 euros. Deal of 2026. That's an exceptional deal. Great job. May give it another go though, but I have to say Linux Exodus has been given a stay since I started using Windows 10, Windows 11, IoT, LTSC. Um, Fair. I think that's Microsoft's play if they want to salvage any goodwill. I highly doubt, considering statement was, please use our AI crap, otherwise we're not going to be allowed to continue making AI crap, or forcing it down people's throats, is that they're not interested in goodwill. They're not interested in their customer base. They're interested in shareholder profit and shareholder, like, investor money. That's it. So yeah. Anyone here dabbled with macOS? I've used it a few times. I mean, Simon, British Simon S63, said but moments ago that it's he uses macOS for everything, but gaming. I can't stand it personally, but I have to say I love the MacBook. I also can't stand it. So yeah. I've done Hackintosh stuff before though. So I have used macOS for a bit, but not properly. Battery life of the MacBook is jaw dropping. That it is for sure. I mean the M series chips are incredibly efficient, and I mean just having a closed door ecosystem kind of gives you a lot of power there. I had an iPhone SE, but didn't want to be trapped in the ecosystem. Fair. Won't boot without a battery. Who at HP thought that was a good idea? Nice. I have a laptop for media, but the battery lasts like an hour, so I always use it plugged in, but the stupid HP won't boot with the battery removed. Love that. Apple Silicon is really good. Laptops are solid. Battery's crazy good. As someone who's like tested and played around with 3 now, I agree. It's just not for me. The user experience just isn't right. Yeah. Well, for basic stuff, I'm sure it's fine, but as in for basic stuff, I'm sure even I could get to grips with it nice and quickly, but it's not for me. Here, the Acai project have got Linux working on some Apple hardware. Nice. That's pretty cool. I'd be interested to see how that how plays out. Thank you, DT. Very kind. I have ADHD, so caffeine would actually calm me down, not wake me up. And I'm not tired. Well, I am, but oh shit. I believe I have intracranial hypertension or swelling around my brain. For it's a potential side effect from one of the medications that I take to control the ulcerative colitis. I am apparently particularly susceptible to it. having hypermobility, um, and it means that I have a headache, dizziness, a bit of nausea, back and neck pain, a bit of ringing in my ears more than usual, and like fogginess, also like disturbed vision. Um, so yeah, fun times. I've got a doctor's appointment tomorrow. See. Oh, anyway, I am gonna go try not die. Um, tomorrow, Linux video. Watch it, please. I'll try and make sure that it's uploaded before I, pass. Um, uh, uh, apparently this isn't meant to be serious, but it keeps getting worse. So, um, yeah, we'll see how it goes. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Hope you all stay safe. Hope you all have fun. See you tomorrow and then next Thursday, hopefully. Um, right.